Hello Refine Co community, Marta Lockley here. Today I am here to finally release a new collection. We are releasing Refined Kodak Gold based off of Kodak Gold film. And this is a preset I've kind of had in the works for a while on the back end. I was wanting to do something kind of vintage. I'm a 70s baby. Yes, I'm dating myself. And wanted to have a little of that nostalgic old film look. We all love the beautiful Fujis and the portraits that we've been shooting for the last, I don't know, many years. I've been doing it for more than 15 years myself, but I kind of wanted to go a little further back to something a little more vintage, a little older, a little more nostalgic. Just like we have in our last collections, we reached out to community for some images to use for this collection. And as you can see, I have a stunning group of images here by many of our community members, and I want to show you guys just how Kodak Gold works. One thing I did with this collection is I made it a little smaller. I wanted to lower the price point to make it more accessible for more people, and which I think you guys will be happy about. So there's no fluff in this collection. It's just the presets, and that's what you get. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's just go ahead and get editing. Okay, so let's start with this image. This is actually one of my images from our recent trip to Folly Beach, South Carolina. This is my son. He's a surfer, and as usual on vacation, I bring my camera along. Let's go ahead and open up the Refined Kodak Gold collection. Like I said, it's a small collection. You guys are used to seeing a bunch of workflow tools and stuff, but I kept all of that out to try to bring the price point of this down. When you get this collection, you will actually get gold for desktop and mobile. It's going to be combined for the same low price, and I just really wanted everybody to have this and have fun with it. So let's go ahead and get a side-by-side going, and I'm just going to go ahead and run the preset. You see one click, it's already amazing. I'm so happy with how this works and how fast it works. I wanted to make it so you didn't have to do a ton of white balance adjustments for this. I wanted it to naturally have that instant kind of warm feeling. So if you do have a warmer image, you might have to pull it back a little, but as you can see, I really didn't need to do much to this at all. If I felt like it needed a little extra, nostalgia, a little warmth, I can add that in there. So we have Kodak Gold, and then we have Plus, which is of course a darker version, and just like before, you have your preset sliders as well. But like if this one felt a little too dark, I would just kind of tweak it like that. Aged is just that. It's Kodak Gold, just like the first one, but has a clipped black point and highlight point to give it a little more of that kind of underexposed old camera look. And then of course a plus version of that as well. And then we have Kodak Gold Flash, which is not ideal for this image. I'll go ahead and click on it so you guys can see. Some people might like this. It's kind of a crisp. The highlights are kind of, I wouldn't say blown, but I lifted those highlights quite a bit and darken the shadow and black point. So when you throw it on an image that looks like it has some direct flash or has very bright highlights and very dark backgrounds, it works really well. I have a couple images in here just for that in mind, but this is first look at the preset. This is gonna be kind of a quick video, even though I have 40 images here, because this honestly works almost one click on everything. So as you can see, I'm just kind of clicking through. This one might take a little bit of extra tweaking. I might have to adjust white balance on this a little. Honestly, I really don't even need to do that. I think I would add maybe a smidge of magenta in here just to kind of bring out the pinks in that dress. But that was one click and a little bit of magenta. There's the darker version. And one thing with gold is it does like to be a little moodier. You can really make it moody, or you can even kind of push it a little light and airy and get those nice warm greens and just subtle skin tones. And there's the plus, and there's aged. I'll bring it back down so you can kind of see it. And there's aged plus, and of course flash. Let me put a regular, there's regular here on the left, and let me put the age on the right, just so you guys can kind of get a feel of what it's doing. It just clips those blacks just nicely, gives it a little that vintage feel, throw a little extra grain on it, but it's just beautiful. Wanted to show you this one. I will, by the way, I will tag all of the photographers of these images in the description below, so be sure to check them out and give them a follow. You can also see their names down here. But I want to show you that it works really well on white or light images as well. I'm going to go ahead and lower the exposure on this. There we go. And there's one click. I mean, just look at it's just warm and inviting. The mood of it is just stunning. There's aged, and same thing. You can kind of just tweak it a little to the image, what the image needs, because they all need a little something different. I mean, look at that. That's just beautiful. And then aged. All right, let's go to the next image. This image is stunning, and I could not wait to get the preset on these when I saw them, because I knew this was, look at that. The way that clipped those black points. And like I said, you can adjust, bring up those highlights if you want. And there's the darker version. And of course, flash, you can see just how crisp that is, but that's a fun edit too. I kind of like it on this. And see how it works on color. I'm gonna go ahead and bring down that exposure a little. Let's go and warm it up just a smidge. Look at that, it still works beautifully with the colors. It has that warm, nostalgic feel, but we refined it. We try to give it that elegant, sophisticated touch, so it gives you the touch of nostalgia, but makes it a little more modern as well. And here's the one that I knew was going to look good on with the flash, because the Kodak Gold Flash really accentuates the highlights and keeps the black point dark. You can see the difference here. If I run this, how these highlights kind of fade out, and you don't want to do this because it kind of ruins the image in my opinion. So I developed this, and then I would just lift where I need the accentuation. And that way we really keep the mood, the vision of the photographer here. And you can even pull down the warmth a little, but I kind of like it warm. Here's another one so you guys can see how it can work on your indoor newborn shoots. Let's go ahead and give this one click, lift, and I'm going to pull just a touch of that off. And it's still clean. The whites are obviously a little warmer because it's a warmer preset, but it still looks very natural, very relaxed, but still sophisticated. Another travel pic from Charleston, South Carolina. And go ahead and lift. I'm going to add a little warmth in here for that, give that kind of day glow look. So it works wonderful in travel images. Beautiful family session. I mean, like, that's one click. I really wouldn't need to do much else with this. Skin tones are warm, but not too warm. That's one thing I didn't want them to look orange. You know, I didn't want it to go crazy, but I wanted that old, nostalgic, warm skin tone. So again, you can kind of mood it up if you want. If you like things a little moodier, you can go with a higher contrast. There's the aged. That looks great as well. There you go. I love this image so much. I don't know what it is about little tiny kids in Birkenstocks, but it's amazing. But look how this just brings this little detail to life. I mean, look at the detail in the grass there. How it just brought everything to life, warmed it up just enough, and it looks nostalgic. Another one of my travel pics from my kids surfing. This is my son and his girlfriend. There you go, love that. And that just looks like I grabbed an old Brownie camera and took this. For those of you that are my age know what a Brownie is. But it's an old vintage camera. It was called a Brownie. There we go. And this beautiful image. There's a simple edit. There's cut through. I mean, how perfect is it for these setting sun photos? It's already got enough warmth in it. And look at that. Look how rich that made that look. That looks stunning. And another surfing pic. Just fix my horizons because they drive me crazy. And again, this is basically one click. And I like it. I like to keep, if you notice film, it allows for the dark areas. It doesn't, you know, we don't have to lift everything to be like this because then it doesn't look as filmy. Keep it the way it was shot and it looks a little more authentic, a little more raw, and just beautiful. Travel photos from one of our community members. And I just love it. So I think these would be great for stock photography as well. So for those of you like me that shoot stock and you want to submit some kind of older vintage looking images, this would be the way to go. I mean, that looks, look at that. Look how it brought the wood door to life and just kind of warmed up the walls. Oh, I love that right there. More travel type photography. Family session. I'm going to zoom this in a little so we can see everybody here. Let's take a look at white balance on this. A little bit of magenta was added. So that was one click. And I mean, the definition and the detail, look at just the shadowing on her legs, how it brought all that, the way that brought out the dress. Everything looks stunning. And of course, like I said, you can warm it up even more if you want. You can lighten it if you really want to go. I mean, that looks gorgeous too. I love it light right there. Beautiful. And with a little more contrast. But look at the depth in the trees here. I'm so excited with how this turned out. And there's the aged plus, which I think looks great on this. So if you want to give it a little more grain, a little more grit, aged plus works really nice. Beautiful girls, actually family, same thing. Gonna bring down the exposure just a little bit. I mean, I just love how it's handling all of the pastel colors, still keeping them pastel and nostalgic, but you're not too washed out. You don't feel like you've lost your color. Even the orange in the background, it just looks really good. That looks beautiful. Here's another high contrast. Get a little bit of a tilt here. Crop out that little sticker. So all of these work on this. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down just a smidge. There we go. Plus for the contrast. Aged plus. And then the flash is also really nice on this. It really gives a lot of drama and a lot of mood. Here's my little Birkenstock friend. He's adorable. It's a good way to show you guys different skin tones. Beautiful, not too orange, not too yellow, natural, but still has that nice vintage feel. And look at the depth of the different greens in the bush behind him. These are all the things I look for. I'm getting a little bit of a color nerd here. There you go. I think I like this one and the first one on him. More travel. Just see how that really just kind of brings it to life. And I love how when you clip the highlights, it just brings in all of that sky that we lost here. These beautiful little girls. Like I said, white balance to taste. You can do as much or as little as you want and still get the nice natural greens. A little bit of family travel vacation photos. But again, one click and it's basically one and done. Wedding. Go ahead and bring this down here so we can see the bottom of this gorgeous gown. I love this image so much. I don't like what it did there. I'm going to hand adjust this one. So there's one. I'm gonna add in just a smidge of magenta. Felt like this leaned a little green, probably because of all of the green around them. And you can, like I said, you can push it, really get that pop of contrast. You can lift from the shadows a little, just to kind of lighten these areas. You can keep it nice and moody. I'm gonna bring this down. There's aged. And H plus, probably a little dark for this image. Here's another light. One click. And I mean, just look how gorgeous her skin looks here. And this is great for, like I said, stock photography, travel work. You're just wanting something that looks a little nostalgic. More travel photography by one of our community members. Same thing, just gonna dial this back just a smidge. Gorgeous. And again, look how gorgeous it is on her skin tones. The depth in her hair. Colors are all still colorful, like you feel like the color is there, but it's not overly saturated. Just playing with the white balance and the exposure a little to find the sweet spot. I really want to make sure I can see these clouds. I think I'm going to lift them a little. That looks gorgeous. Stunning garden photo. And I'm going to pull down the warmth a little. Give it just a teeny bit of magenta to balance out all the extra green we've got here. Another family session. Let's just go and run the preset. Same thing, just a smidge of magenta. The ones with a lot of green seem to need just that little tiny kick of magenta just to kind of balance it out. Make sure the skin tones stay pink and not green yellow. We rather them a little bit of a pinky yellow than a green yellow. More travel. I mean, this image is gorgeous all on its own. It barely needs an edit at all. But look at that. Look how it brought that to life. Aged. And again, with all this green, could be the camera body too, just needs a tiny bit of magenta. And we can lift up her face a little too. I love how this just brings it to life. It just looks rich now. Here's another one that's going to be good for the flash. Actually, all of them look great on it. There's your aged. And the flash just gives it that little pop. Nice and crisp. Just lift this up so we can see the shine on these trucks. It's well shot. More fun travel type photography. Look at that. Brought in the sky, detailed out the truck, enhanced that mud. Everything looks gorgeous. Perfect. Just a couple more. And last image. Oh, that looks gorgeous. I love how it handles the light. And you don't lose that beautiful warm, you know, we all shoot at gold during golden hour, but then we end up washing a lot of it out with overexposing and such. But I love how this just handles that light and feels natural and authentic. But there you go. That's the new refined Kodak Gold collection. It's out now, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Be sure to tag us at Refine Presets or at Refine Co. If you guys share our images using the collection, we would love to see them, and be sure to follow the photographers in the description below of all these beautiful images. And thank you guys very much for watching. Have a beautiful day.